So I didn't record yesterday. But lucky for you, I get to double up on gratitude today because we're keeping our 31 days of gratitude rolling. Maybe it's your first time listening. This was something that shared to me growing up from my mom. Annoyed, obviously at the time when this was passed on to me, just because I was at that age where everything that wasn't my own idea was annoying. Anyway, I really liked it. So couple simple little buy-ins. One is every day you're going to write down something you're grateful for. It could be on any piece of paper. You could even throw it out. It's just the simple act of actually physically writing it down. And I also think you should just say it out loud. Don't have to say it to anybody, but you should say it out loud. So every day, little gratitude. Could be something very deep, introspective. Could be something pretty simple. Yesterday's gratitude was a car with a full gas tank. For me, it's like one of the best feelings. I feel like if the gas tank's full and my teeth are clean, I brush my teeth, I could conquer the world, go anywhere, do anything, drive that car to the moon. I don't know why it's such a good feeling, but I feel more confident, jump in that car, see the tank on full, just happy. Really weird. It's always been the case. And then today, Super Bowl Sunday gratitude. I mean, I'm a general fan of appetizers, but grateful for chicken wings, and also grateful that I've spent time learning how to make the foods I like. That is an awesome thing. You don't have to go anywhere to get it done. Obviously, you got to buy the ingredients, but people ask like, what kind of chicken wings are your favorite? I think one of my favorite things about chicken wings is there are so many different kinds of chicken wings that are really tasty. You can go dry rub, go wet wings. You can go buffalo. You can go spin your eyes out of your head hot. You can go garlic parmesan, lemon pepper, you name it. Like Jamaican jerk, gochujang wings, amazing. They're all good. And then if you want to get really wild, you can just dip them in blue cheese or ranch. Again, I don't like to discriminate. Some people are like, you got to go one or the other. I even like the stupid celery and carrots that come with wings. Like the entire experience. I like the fact that when you eat them in public, you look like a complete psychopath. Everything about them is awesome. Love chicken wings. Love chicken wings. I'd like to invent a shirt where while you're eating them, you could just wipe your hands on your shirt and then quickly clean it. That would be cool. That's actually a really good idea. Because I think the only thing that could be more satisfying than eating chicken wings is just, guilt-free wiping your hands all over your shirt. If I was ultra wealthy, I would just have a pile of clean shirts. They would be chicken wing eating shirts. And every time I would eat wings, I'd put on one of those shirts, wipe my hands all over, and just throw the shirt out. That's so horrifically wasteful. I love it. Anyway, this is my double dose of gratitude today. And didn't record yesterday. Took a little flack for that. But and in the past, I've said it's better to practice a good habit poorly than not at all. And I didn't do that. But I spent some time in front of the computer and had some ideas and just didn't like anything that was happening. And in this one instance, I just felt like it was better to move on. And I liked the idea of doubling up on a double dose of gratitude today. And I think it wasn't one of those like, woe is me, I'll give myself grace. It's okay if I don't record. I didn't like that I didn't record. And I probably could have just got on here and given the gratitude of the day. Maybe that's what I'll do in the future. I think the one thing that thinking about this made me want to do is continue to spend more time outlining this. Like I've started to do some little things here in terms of taking notes, but maybe looking further ahead, bringing more structure to it, allocating a little time during the day to like plan out 3 or 4 days. But I'd have like the spontaneity of just reacting to the day and using this as a vehicle to directly react to like what has happened. There are some themes that kind of carry off from previous podcasts, but I don't know. You can't always plan everything out, and you can't always leave everything up to just total chance, even though that can be really fun. So a little delayed gratification. Reminds me of the marshmallow test, which basically an experiment where they offered kids, they put a marshmallow on a table, I think, and they said, hey, if you don't eat this, you get something more, or maybe you get another one or something like that. And supposedly the conclusion was that the kids who were able to be a little more restrained, not eat the marshmallow, had in return for a larger outcome down the road by resisting, they were had better life outcomes. So I don't know about that. Something important about the delayed gratification. I want to be the kid who is told if he waits to eat the marshmallow that he eats the marshmallow, kicks down the door, and go gets the entire bag of marshmallows and eats everybody else's marshmallow, and then finds some more and just throws some out just so no one else could have them. That's the kid that I want to meet. I like him. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about. What were we talking about? Delayed gratification. We talked about the gratitude pieces. Not super happy that I didn't record yesterday. Oh, the workouts. Did a fun workout yesterday. Big workout with the class. 5 rounds for time, 750 meter row, 30 sit-ups, and 15 strict handstand push-ups. Opted for an 800 meter run instead of the row. Probably should have been a 600 meter run. Then the numbers would have been really nice. 630, 15. I think I can be so picky about workouts. It's one of those things, and I've said this before. I think sometimes I don't think I could probably count on both hands, and I would need them both because counting past 5 is hard. I could probably count on both hands how many truly bad workouts I've done in my life. I've talked about this before. I think in and of itself, I think it's really hard to find a bad CrossFit workout. I think you can see things throughout a week of CrossFit workouts that aren't interesting, don't line up, don't touch enough variance, touch too much variance. So, but in and of itself. But one of the things I get cranky about is just the numbers in workouts. I get it. It is just the task. Just do it. Like I said, 750, 30, 15. Just do it. Why not 60, 600, 30, 15? Just makes so much sense. It just looks nicer. Sometimes it's just nicer when things are nice. But I think it was a fun workout. Big class. Ran a ton with the dogs, which, as you know, I always love. And while I was out there jogging around, I was just... usually as happens when I'm working out, just doing some thinking out there. And what I was thinking about is going back to the concept of how much control do we have over our own lives? Free will kind of stuff, really, heady stuff, but I'm not thinking about it in any deep kind of way. But I think it's just so easy to fall into this trap of, if I don't have control over these things in my life, if I'm less in control of my destiny, it's harder to be happy or have some specific outcome. And the longer and more I've thought about this is because I tend to fall on the side of I don't think it's as simple as free will versus it's all planned out for us. I don't think it's as simple as maybe there are large life events that are planned out for us, but how we react to them, the smaller things, are for us to own. I think when you look at the influence of all the different things and events in our life, I think it's really hard for us to say that we have this complete free of any outside influence, any predicating influence over our own choices and thoughts. But I will say this. I think in every one of those scenarios, however you look at it, free will, no free will, I think you always live a better life when you assume that you are the one in control over your reactions. And I think all life outcomes are better when you move forward believing that you are first and foremost responsible for yourself and how you view and interact with the world around you. You are out of control in any one of these scenarios of the actions of others, and there are lots of things you cannot control. But I do believe your life is 100% better when you take accountability for your own actions and behavior. I believe that. Like any time in my life that I can look back on it, I've always been quote unquote happier or felt better when at the end of the day I've said, pointed the finger back at myself and said, hey, this isn't, you're not uncomfortable because of this person. And if you are feeling uncomfortable in this moment, what can you do to get out of it? Even if you do feel that way. The sun is hot, you are tired, but what can you do to mitigate that? I think when you put yourself back to the center of what can I do to X, Y, and Z, change the scenario, feel differently, view differently, perspective difference, I think you'll lead a better life. So that's kind of what came to mind. Yesterday I was out there jogging around with the dogs, getting frustrated with them wrestling each other. Again, kind of pointing the finger externally. I think so much of our days is caught up in that. Mine was for a little bit, but then it was just a kick-ass workout. So that was awesome. There we go. 2 bits of gratitude today. Moving on to tomorrow. See you.